If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm riding my mountain bike through the forest up on a long, steep track. Halfway up, I see a young boy, maybe 9 or 10 years old. He's struggling. This track is a tough challenge for anyone not used to the mountain biking, let alone a kid on a new bicycle. He can't work the gears and wobbles and grinds to a halt. Tears run down his face. Dad, Dad, he yells, sobbing. He's crying for help, but he's also in a boiling rage. I offer him to help, but he's so angry, so ashamed that he doesn't acknowledge me. As I pedal past up the hill, I see the father in the distance. He's standing silently next to the mountain bike, arms folded across his chest, staring at his son 200 meters down the hill. He also looks angry. I have seen the father's face on 1,000 football touchlines, 1,000 school gates. It's a face that says, "Toughen up, don't whine, be a man." It's the face of someone who hands down the rage and pain of what it is to be a man. I feel incensed. On the boy's behalf, I can't help myself. I say to the father, I hope your son can afford a good psychotherapist when he grows up. The father doesn't respond. Examining masculinity can seem like a luxury problem, a pastime for a wealthy, well-educated, peaceful society. But I would argue the opposite. The poorer, the more undeveloped, the more uneducated a society is, the more masculinity needs realigning with the modern world. Because masculinity is probably holding back the society. All over the globe, crimes are committed, wars are started, women are being held back, and economies are distorted by men because of their outdated version of masculinity. We need to get a philosophical fingernail under the edge of firmly stuck down masculinity sticker, so we can get hold of it and rip it off. The sticker, men are naked and vulnerable, human even. It's a newsroom cliche that masculinity is always somehow in crisis, under threat for politicians such as shifting gender roles. But to me, many aspects of masculinity seem such a blight on society that those say it is in crisis is like saying racism was in crisis in the civil rights era America. Masculinity needs to change. Some may question it, but they are often white middle-class men with nice jobs and nice families. The current state of masculinity is biased in their favor. What about the teenagers who think the only manly way out of poverty and dysfunction is to become a criminal? What about all the lonely men who can't keep a partner, having trouble making friends and end up killing themselves? What about all angry men who inflict their masculine baggage off the rest of us? All of us males need to look at ourselves with a clear eye and ask what sort of man would make the world a better place for everyone. When we think of masculinity and men, the issue can quickly become scary, global and serious. A discussion about hipster fashion and would do the warming up and rapidly spiral into a debate about rape, war, terrorism, religious oppression and the predatory capitalism. I sometimes watch evening news and television and think all the world problems can be boiled down to one thing: the behavior of people with an Y chromosome. Men seem to be the ones with the power, the money, the guns, and the criminal records. The consequences of a rough masculinity era, I think one of the biggest issues, if not the biggest issue, facing the world today. Some forms of masculinity, particularly, is starkly brutal or covertly domineering, are toxic to an equal, free, and tolerant society. Understandably, women have led the discussion about gender. They are the ones who have been most oppressed by constraints. After all, on the subject of gender, the feelings of many men can be summed up as, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The status quo doesn't seem to work for them, but I'm asking, does it really? What if half the victims of masculinity are men? Masculinity might be a straitjacket that is keeping men from being themselves. Whatever that might mean, in their drive from domination, men may have neglected the priority vital aspects of being wholly human, particularly issues around mental health. In their drive to be successful masculine, men may have been preventing their greater self from being successfully happy. I want to impact what the American feminist Betty Mikitowska's The Invisible Weightless Knapsack, a male privilege full of special provision, maps, passport, codebooks, visas, clothes, tools, and blackjacks, to see as much a burden to some men as a boon.